Okay, so I'm going to do this video that talks about cholinergic urticaria to do an update on it. People still ask me about it, if it's still impacted me, affected me, that type of thing. So I wanted to give an update because I don't think I have done so anytime in 2018. Okay, now you're going to hear a bunch of noise because, my kids are going in and out the door to the next door neighbor, so hopefully that's the end of it. And they won't cause interruption, but I was actually outside, and excuse me if I feel like I'm out of breath or sound like I'm out of breath, because I actually am. I was outside actually working, and it's been raining, so it gave me time to, today, since it's a little bit sunny, it gave me time to go outside and actually mow the grass and do a lot of different things. And of course, as I was trying to fix my weed eater, I took a screwdriver to the hand because it was actually stuck and it just slipped and got me. So that sucked. But the other part of it was I was outside after that. I've been outside for maybe 2 hours. It's been sunny. But I noticed I didn't have any issues with my CU as far as my back itching or anything like that. There was a slight bit of prickle, and I have this big long sleeve shirt on, sweatshirt. So I was surprised, and it's black and it's sunny. So I was surprised. It is kind of chilly outside, but I apologize if you are hearing any sort of wind. I have the fan on. But I was surprised that, hey, I can work outside. I mowed the grass. I, did some trimming around the plants and everything, and I was totally fine. Started to plant stuff. And Noelle looked at me and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "What do you mean?" Because, I started breathing really heavy. And it wasn't like I was doing a lot of work. It was just basic stuff. And I was breathing really heavy. And then once I stopped to think about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm breathing really, really heavy, like I had actually jogged or something. And so I touched my chest, and I noticed that my heart rate had started to beat a little bit more, like I had actually been running. And then, so I said, okay. I think I'm going to go inside, because one of the problems with CU is that you don't sweat. So there's a chance that you can overheat and have heat exhaustion, right? And so people may not be aware of it because they don't feel like it's that hot, or, hey, I'm not sweating profusely or anything like that. But with CU, sometimes people just don't sweat, and I'm one of those people where I can sweat every place else except for areas that are affected by the CU. My neck, my chest, my back especially. My forehead, it will sweat all day, but nothing else will. So I then walked inside, and as I got inside, I was dizzy. And I'm not someone that gets dizzy often, like at all. But I noticed I got very lightheaded, very dizzy, vision a little blurry, but not like I couldn't see or couldn't walk, but a little blurry. And I noticed the tips of my fingers tingling. Now, if it was this hand, I can understand because I injured this hand just today. But both fingers were tingling at the end. It was kind of like if you've had your finger on something that was vibrating, a fast vibrate, and then you take your fingers off, and that sensation. So that's what it felt like. So, and then I was I noticed I was very, very thirsty, right? So I noticed I had some coffee that I hadn't finished because I went outside. Noelle loves the garden. So she loves to stay out there all day. And I thought, okay, well, since it's now, and like everyone, I mean, if you go outside, you hear lawnmowers going because it typically has just been raining, right? You only have like 10 minutes, and then the sun goes away and it starts raining again. Well, today has been a pretty long streak of sunlight. So we were even going to go to the beach because yesterday we went to Seattle and it rained. Even though it said that it was going to be kind of sunny, it still rained. And so today it was supposed to rain, but there's been a long break of no rain. So I was going to take full advantage of that. So anyhow, yeah, that is what can happen with CU. notice that they say, do you suffer from asthma? A lot of times when they talk about CU, do you suffer from asthma? I never been diagnosed with it, even as a kid, never been diagnosed with asthma or anything like that. But I can tell you that it wasn't like, I have, some of my nephews and nieces had asthma back in the day. And they even had inhalers and stuff, and they could tell me like, oh, it feels like you're basically breathing through a straw, right? Like you can't get enough air. With me, just now, it wasn't so much that I was breathing through a straw. It felt like I couldn't get enough air, and maybe that's what they mean. I don't know. I couldn't get enough oxygen in, so I was breathing faster, not knowing it, and I wasn't really aware of it until Noelle pointed it out. But I was breathing faster to try to get enough air. And then when I got inside and realized what was going on, it was like, I'm trying to get some air in. So basically, because I've dealt with CU my entire life, I kind of know how to handle the situation. I'm glad Noelle pointed it out to me, because I would have continued on. I don't know if anything would have happened necessarily, but I would have continued on doing what I was doing. And this was light work. It wasn't like I was out there doing a whole lot of stuff and chopping up wood or anything like that. I had been working the entire time I was out there, mowing the grass, moving, branches and stuff and all of that. But I wasn't doing a whole lot of work at that time. And I think maybe it's just the cumulative effect of everything that kind of came together. But it was a pretty... I wasn't scared, actually. Once I came inside, I was able to actually take a deep breath. My nose has been running, and I noticed during that time, my nose wouldn't run, right? Which was kind of strange. I've got allergies and things like that. And prior to going out there, my nose is just a faucet. During that time, my nose would not even run, which was kind of strange. Once I actually started to get my breath back and just relax a little bit, my nose started to run. I'm no longer dry mouthed as much. My breathing's a little bit more back to normal. My heart's not as racing as fast. And I'm no longer dizzy or my fingers tingling or anything like that. But that was kind of freaky. It was kind of strange. So anyhow, for those that want to know, do I still have CU? I still do have it. Starting up summer now is going to be the time where it's a little bit of an anxiety for me, because typically it gets so hot. Now keep in mind, I have 2 shirts on underneath. Okay, so not only do I have this thick sweatshirt on, I also have a short sleeve shirt which you can just wear by itself. It's not even an undershirt, it's just a shirt, because it's a little chilly. So I had both of those on. Now, typically, if I just wore this by itself, or even this thin thing by itself on a hot, sunny day, I would be on fire itching. And this time I was not. So I don't know if the CU signs of itching are gone. If that's the case, that's a concern for me, because I still have CU. The itching tells me, hey, go someplace and cool down. So it's kind of like a warning. But if that warning is gone, just like what happened out there, then it could work itself up to heat exhaustion, which is even worse, right? So I don't know what the situation is. I'm going to have to kind of be mindful of this as the summer goes on. And then probably tell the doctor kind of play-by-play as to what happened, when it happened, how it happened. But yeah, to those who ask, do I still have it? How do I cope with it? How do I deal with it? I just kind of live with it, right? It's not much more that I can do with it. Based on me, I don't know about other people, can't speak about other people. There's no quick fix. It's kind of like you just have to work with it and manage it on your own. There's medicine and things you can take, but I've tried to eliminate things out of diet, wash my clothes and different stuff and various different things, and even exercise. None of those things actually work. I think it's a matter for me. Now, I can't speak for anybody else. It may work for different people, but CU is different in different people. It reacts differently. Part of this too, yesterday was very cold and we were outside all day. Zoe's arms started to flare up because of the cold. My sister has that condition with CU where her face will just flare up when it's cold outside. It doesn't bother me physically that I can tell, but I think that it could be a situation where yesterday cold and then today may have collided. My body just couldn't adjust to that. And still I'm having a hard time trying to catch my breath. And that's been an hour ago that this happened. So at any rate, people will say, well, go to the doctor, see what they'll do. There's really not much they can do. CU is such a unique thing that if I had 5 people with CU, all 5 can explain the same things happening, but it reacts differently to them at the same time. It's a very strange thing. Some people can have no problem with sweating, but they still have the issue. Some people basically get it, seasonal. Some people have it all the time. Some people, it affects them in the cold and in the heat. Some people, it only affects them when it's cold. Some people, like me, it only affects them when it's hot. So it's a very strange situation. And that's just kind of how it is. But anyhow, I don't want to continue on rambling about this. I just wanted to update people about CU, what actually happened. This is kind of the first time I've noticed something like this happening. I've had CU since I've been like 13 years old. So, and I'm 40 years old now. That gives you an idea of how long I've had to actually adjust and deal with this. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure you put it down in the comment section below. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.